missing the tranquility of a seaside town and that calm before the storm that is Easter and the tourists descending. For me, I've got 4 days clear, phones off, no one to see, no one to talk to. There's a sign outside the tent saying do not disturb, and I'm going to go and get those timbers in for first fix. I've got to say, I'm actually really impressed with this compass plane. I've never used one before this job, and I of course had a little practice before you came to watch, but I'd always heard they were a bit cranky and didn't really do a job, but this is working a treat. So I'm cutting the concave face of the forefoot and stem. This is where a top cap sits over the joint. So job number one in getting these into the boat is getting that cut. So get that face cut square, take a template, cut a new one. It's just a little too much sapwood going through the corner of that, which is a pity. So it's day 2 of my Easter mission to get these home. You can see the bow assembly taking shape now. That's the top cap is clean and planed up, ready. Took a day, pretty much a full day, to get this curve married perfectly, chalked. I'm just going to get another fastening in, or at least one more of these temporary fixings. They're in the lines that the final fixings would take, but they're only 10mm threaded bar just to hold it all together while we test fit. Let's get another one in. So the first 3 temporary bolts are in. And you might be looking at it thinking Simon's missed the centre line, but it's actually quite a deliberate plan. The policy for how these come together is they don't go straight through the centre line when they just depend on tension to stop the shear. They actually angle across. On the outside, of course, they start on the centre line. I've marked that right through. This one came through at a raked angle forward so that it pulls the joints back together. Then all the others swing across so that they're coming in as a V set. It's quite interesting that when I took the old timbers apart, there really isn't much holding it together at all. Come and have a look. So this is the original forefoot, and there wasn't very much holding the stem to it. There's a bolt hole here, there's a bolt hole there, there's a little screw holding the chin on, and a couple of coach screws that would have rotted out within 10 years of the boat being built by the look of it, and that was it. So on one hand I think, well, that's not really enough, Mr. Harry King, when you built this boat, but you're trying to shave a few shillings off the bill. The other way to look at it is, well, obviously it was enough, because it didn't let me down in 20 years of sailing. I never saw a leak. But going forward, it doesn't feel right to me. I'm going to put more in, and so you work with what you know and you work with what you research. And for me, the research I found that really made the most sense was this book, which is How to Build a Wooden Boat. It talks about the bolts slanting the way I had already done it, the way I like it, which holds the scarf joint back in place. Well, Bud McIntosh is talking exactly about that, and he talks about staggering the bolts across the centre line so you're not relying just on tension and shear to stop it slatting. It made sense to me, and that's what I've adopted. I'm sure other people have different opinions, but I think I'm building stronger than she was originally. Right, next step, I need to clear away this bench. I need to get some structure in to hold the keel timber up, and I need to find a way to hold out the plank ends so I'm not fighting them to get these timbers in. I made these ones as braces for the tent. Actually, that might just do the trick. There's something up here to hold these planks out. Can't really blame me for that. That is Harry King. I'm having another chat with the man who built this boat, because that is a knot running straight through that plank. Couldn't have got a better shot on it. It's getting really precarious up here for balancing and doing stuff with an aggressive saw, I have to say. But I just need to loosen off these fastenings to soften the planks out. I don't know that boat building's good for aerobic fitness, but it's as good as yoga for getting you into weird places. So the next task is to take out these old floors. They sit on top of the 4-foot, and as I've made mine slightly fatter at the moment for waste and spare, they wouldn't fit. So taking these out, getting some temporary structure in, has to be done. It's exactly 20 years ago that I put these in the little program Boatyard, which you'll find in playlists down on the channel here. It was filmed in 2005, early summer, late spring, early summer 2005. That's exactly when these went in, so I never thought I'd be taking them out again. But we will build back better. So everything's had a good tidy up in here, and I think we're just about ready for the forefoot to come in. There was one last task to do though, and that was down here. I hope the camera will pick up the lines, but I've just been remarking the centre line and putting on the extensions to mark the end of the mortise there, so that when the block is on top I can find the relevant points. Again, you're seeing that as a black marker pen. I've actually got finer pencil lines that I'll be working to, but the camera's struggling to even see those. So I think we're good to go, ready for the forefoot to come in for the first time and see how it all fits. But noticing the time, I think I've missed my slot with the boatyard boys, who'd much rather be heading away for the night. So I shall grab at their time in the morning and maybe bring them a bacon butty to help them get enthusiastic.
What's the final destination of this thing then?
So
is it the pointy bit or the bottom?
So the blunt bit, the rounded end,
yeah,
going in that way.
Right.
And the high pointy bit sits up here.
Okay, so.
Now I've put lots and lots of fairly famous now trip hazards everywhere.
Yeah, perfect.
Some of them are more trippy than others.
The things you just put there.
Yeah, my way.
Yep.
You can move the camera to see what you're doing.
Why would you do
No,
that?
it's looking at your butt.
It's not. Now it is. Bacon butty time.
Not bacon butty time yet. Not bacon butty time yet. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan is the new cameraman for Keryl Reborn. Oh, the other thing you have to do when you're filming, Dan, is not film my bald head. Any shots that get just my head being bald is just...
That's when you get the best light, because it reflects off the red light.
Right, that should hold it in.
Lovely.
Okay, Mr. Cameraman, you can take a shot of that one as we leave to show what I was just doing. But don't forget this board rocks. You can
If we go too much further, we won't be able to get it in past this knot.
No, I'm thinking that too.
Yeah, release a little bit.
Is that the wrong Jeremy thing? You want me to release?
Release! Any time now will do. I think your body's in the way of the camera. Yeah, you see, there's that money shot that you wanted.
There you go. Two men have earned a bacon butty. There's serving ones.
Mushrooms.
Because I like mushrooms in my bacon sandwiches. And I might have had a vegetarian. Ooh. The rain's been holding off all day until I need to cook. There ain't no way I'm taking a piece of something like that inside my tent because it will go on fire. I'm not going to bother making mayonnaise though.
Look at the
The boatyard boys coming starving to a bacon butty fest.
It's very cool, mate. Just make sure the bowl back's good because he cuts all of that out.
Yeah, Dan was aiming the camera at my ball
Right
patch.
at it. Trying to get the best light, weren't you? Bit of shrubbery just to help it on.
Just to make it feel healthy, gets a bit of wild
Just
rocket.
to counteract the bacon.
Mr. Dan, how's the bacon sandwich?
That was terrible.
Thank you very much. How's the bacon sandwich? Mike and his half thumb, right. Going to turn you off now and leave everyone alone. Yeah. So again, it's one of those moments with the quiet and everyone's gone and I'm washing the dishes. And but really fiddling and fettling, just eyeing this up. I've got a lot to do to make sure that I set it exactly right before I confirm its final position. I'm checking with battens how the rabbit lines from the keel and the stem will meet. That everything looks fair. But the angle that it sits on the keel timber is exactly correct. I think it needs to rake up a fraction. But I've got the partner to the joint, the top cap set on now. Pulling it all together to get the profile correct, and it's looking pretty good. I've got to say, I'm really happy. This is going to work, that's what I can say. It's going to take me some fiddling, but it's going to work. It's going to fit. You'd be bored if you stayed with me for the whole of this messing around bit, so I'm going to turn you off. See you again tomorrow. There you go. Welcome. That's famous.
That was the one you wanted, wasn't it?
When I keep talking about a trip hazard, that's that box there. Nice entry, that was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not really. You can edit that.
No, I won't edit that out, keep that in, that's comedy gold. I need to introduce you to someone who's given me the gift, the most precious gift, and that is time. It's my good old friend John Turner. We were neighbours on boats. How long have I known you? 15 years, 20 years, something? A long time.
Yeah, a while.
And so many people say, oh, come and give you a hand. But John is the first one that actually has given me a day. So I've got him for a day to put to work. Anything? Anything.
Anything within reason.
And I've got some tasks lined up. But what that really does for me is just take the pressure. I can crack on with this. I can get my stuff done, knowing that things are still going forward somewhere else on the boat, and that's just the kindest thing. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Come on in, get to work.
My hands are here waiting.
Cool. So, Mr. Turner, thank you for today in advance, in case you fall. The way I like to work with someone helping me is to give a guy a task, give him the tools to do it, and just let him crack on with it. John works offshore, so comes back with chunks of time, and he's volunteered to be my first helper on the project. So I'm going to give him a task that he can always come back to and do anytime that he's willing, able, allowed, permitted. Anyway, the job I'm going to ask him to do is taking off this edge banding and the top plank over time. I need to get access to the frame tops and the beam shelf behind in preparation for starting the framing. So it's the most useful thing I could get, and it's the most useful task I could pass over to someone. Safety equipment, don't fall off. See you at lunchtime.
See you later. I've been told to say this. Keryl Reborn. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully she don't sing.
So while John is beavering away, just put that in perspective, I just went around, he's being a YouTuber and taking selfies up on the deck. Anyway, while John's beavering away, my task is to get my head around, to get to grips with the setting out of this, just checking that it's in the right position. I'm taking the table of measurements that I took off the old stem for the rabbet lines, transferring them and just appraising to see whether that is the right place for this to sit. It looks pretty good, I have to say. And with that done, we'll get it out and start shaping.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. Up again. Okay. Right, now lower. This is the trip hazards.
Yeah.
You've got two, yeah, you won't fight it. They look quite expensive. Magic. And I can take that from there.
Yeah.
Well done. That's a good day to boat, isn't it? No, seriously, thank you.
No, thoroughly enjoyed it.
I've got loads of that done.
Yeah, got all that side off. I've got one more, I've got the top plank to take off.
And I would have asked the boatyard boys for that, but I was running out of bacon. So as this project is moving along, it's interesting how some of the conversations repeat themselves as people come into the tent to say, how's the yacht coming on? The great conversations I have on social media now with people all around the world. And one of the constants is this question that's asked, and you can imagine all the time on a project like this is, so when you finish, Keryl, where are you going to sail her to? Around the world? And honestly, I must get asked that 5 times a day. Well, the answer is perhaps a bit more humble than sailing around the world. But don't forget, I'm 56. I've always had a decade to do this. I'm going to be quite an old man, and maybe my ambitions won't be for sailing across oceans and around the world anymore. And actually they crystallise down to my life as a chef and my life sailing, to sail to a fabulous location with good food and drink at the end of it. And that location has been coming to the fore in a conversation that's been rolling along between me and a young guy called Colin McPartland, who's based in Northern Ireland and is just embarking on his own story of rebuilding a 1960s Bangor S-class, a 27-foot double-ender wooden boat. I think the boat's in good hands, he's doing everything right with her. Anyways, this story is called Sailing Sorona. You'll find him on Instagram. I'll put a link down below for that. And the nub of this, the destination that I've named, is that when Keryl and I are back on the sea, we're going to sail to Galway, in the Republic of Ireland, the west coast, to the Oyster Festival. The ambition to sit on a quay and eat fabulous oysters and drink Guinness. And Connor has volunteered to buy the oysters, which leaves me the Guinness bill. And I'll stand Guinness for anyone that joins me on the journey. So there you go. If anyone wants to help, as John has today, the great lift he's given me, just getting stuck in and doing things, then please hit me up on social media, Keryl Reborn on Facebook, in the comments below. Put me in touch. For right now though, I've got to get on with planing this to final shape, getting it ready to go back in once and for all. So to say, thank you for watching. See you next time on Keryl Reborn.